to Georgia State! To Georgia State!
Sitting here again talking about the same things.
Welcome back, everybody. It is another week of college football in the books. We have officially made it past week 10 of the college football season, which means, of course, as you'd expect, more eliminations, more bowl-eligible teams, more gigantic frauds, and, of course, a lot of, in red, you can say the word, or the three syllables that I'm thinking of. The three words.
CDC, no. FBI, no. Open up, no. CIA, God damn it. Who the fuck? What the fuck was it? PCC, no, God. Oh, yeah, fucking bullshit. Man, it was a. First off, I want to give an obligatory fuck you to YouTube TV and ESPN for putting my ass in a blackout this weekend. Fuck you very much, both of you. You greedy sons of bitches. You claim to be for the people, and yet you black the people out when football season is reaching its peak. I don't get it. I don't know why these companies are so goddamn hell-bent on fighting over the smallest fucking changes in money and all this shit. I know ESPN's Yeah, I know. I know they got like a whole new streaming service and all that bullshit, which, by the way, if they don't, I'll have to cave and pay them money this weekend if they don't get their shit together. I don't want to do that. I'll get rid of it as soon as YouTube TV's got it back. But I just that was the one thing that really pissed me off this weekend. Other than that, it was great. You know, my team won.
Yeah, struggled a bit, but you did go out and win against a terrible Penn State team. So good job there. But yeah, the YouTube TV thing was just it was really, really bad. Really, really bad. Probably, I mean, it's the thing about the football, like it affected everybody. And because let's be honest here, YouTube TV is the most effective, best way to watch the football games. You got the multi-view, you don't have any buffering. I mean, the people who are on my stream on Saturday saw this, but it happened tons of times. I was streaming through Fubo the games, and as it turns out, Fubo sucks because on the big screen right there where I was trying to watch one of the games, it just kept buffering and freezing the entire time, and so I couldn't even watch any of the other games. It was awful.
You know what probably was going on was just the increased traffic from everybody dumping YouTube TV, and then they couldn't handle the fucking bandwidth. Same thing happened when they had the Jake Paul Tyson fight on Netflix a few months back. The streaming lag was so bad that when the NFL, it was like almost a year ago now, because it was like their test run before they did the NFL game for Christmas, and it was just like foul. Like you could barely watch anything at all. So, like, some of the worst fucking streaming bullshit I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And I'm not going to change it if I can avoid it, because I got enough bills to pay for. I got a mortgage, and I got 2 kids, which are bills on themselves. So, trust me, I don't want to pay ESPN and Disney directly for shit. But, I mean, if I got to do what I got to do to make sure that I can see what the fuck's going on and have a better idea of what I'm making when I make these chaos vids, so be it, but it's going to piss me off regardless.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear from me.
No kidding. Well, it does make me feel at least just a smidge, just a microscopic smidge bad for Google and more specifically YouTube TV, because they're the ones getting screwed in this whole thing. Because obviously we all see it. Disney's the one, the ESPN, they're the ones that are trying to bump it up on their end so that way they can get more money and pretty much through YouTube TV out of the deal. But we got to watch our football one way or another. So the fact that they didn't make a deal pretty much confirmed that most people have already unsubbed from YouTube TV. Who knows if they're going to make another deal, but there's going to have to be another way to watch our football. Because let me tell you, Fubo ain't it. And I already saw some people saying, yar, you got to pirate the games, yar. It's like, No, I don't want to see 10 billion ads when I'm trying to watch my football either. So it's a lose. Yeah, lose situation. We've got our super chat of the day. First one, Isaac BK66 with the 5 says, Squidtard, what happened to Tennessee? Same thing that happens every year, buddy. In fact, I don't even know what happened. I didn't watch. What happened? I don't even know. I didn't even watch the game. Who knows?
You're so full of shit. It's coming out of your ears. The only thing keeping it is those damn headphones.
Yeah, and the milkshake that I'm drinking right now, but that's beside the point. Welcome, everybody who's here.
Quicker.
We got to go ahead and get into all this chaos, and I guess we'll start out how we often start out our reels here, our recaps. We had another Get Out section today this week. Happened yesterday, so and it happened really, really quick, and nobody is surprised by it. When you lose to Kentucky at home and fail to score a single offensive touchdown, yeah, curtains. And that's basically what happened. It was long overdue. I don't know how he lasted longer than Billy Napier or Brian Kelly, to be honest, but he did. So at least congratulations for making it this long in the season. But yeah, Hugh Freeze, Auburn head coach, has officially been canned from the University of Auburn. No big surprise there. This hire might have been worse than the Harsin hire, and that's an insane thing to say, but it's the truth. It might actually be worse off than the Brian Harsin hire. So both of them basically end the same way, with the coach getting canned, another buyout for Auburn to try and fulfill. And it's going to be really, really tough because the coaching carousel this year is probably one of the most chaotic we're going to see in our lifetime. Think about all the positions that are already open: Penn State, LSU, Florida. I mean, Arkansas. You just go down the list, and there's so many different coaching searches that we have yet to see. So who knows? All these coaches could wind up just trading spaces with each other. We have no idea. But yeah, anyway, Hugh Freeze, time for you to get out once again. At least this time, you went out with a little bit of dignity. You didn't cheat to get where you were. But yes, you might have been better off doing that. I don't know. Real quick, Connor Hirsch with the 10, much appreciated, says, I'm a Miami student. Just bring the Miami hate and laughter now so I can get back to my homework. Everyone on campus hates Beck and Cristobal right now. Campus is in a sour mood before homecoming. Trust me, we're gonna tell you all about it. And we won't wait long for it.
First, you having homecoming, you only had one road game. God damn it! You only have one game outside the state of Florida, and you're having fucking homecoming.
Yeah, homecoming.
That's like,
homecoming to Miami. That's already ironic because what home are they coming to? They rent out an NFL stadium. There's no homecoming. They aren't coming home. They're going to the Miami Dolphins. It's away coming, if anything. But anyway, tell us your unbiased thoughts about Hugh Freeze.
Miami is the redheaded stepchild of Hard Rock Stadium. Two things. I do want to double back real quick about YouTube TV. I just saw a tweet from Awful announcing, and I don't know how real it is, so take it with a grain of salt. Disney loses $5 million every day to talk YouTube TV, so it ain't going to last for long. That's for sure. Now, as for Hugh Freeze, I think that the reason he stuck it out, he stayed for so long compared to probably a couple of other coaches, was because he kept on having the excuse of, well, the quarterbacks we got just couldn't develop, or we just had bad luck. Going back to his first quarterback, Bo Nix, got hurt at Auburn, transferred. Bad luck. You know what I mean? Then you got fucking TJ Finley, not great. Peyton Thorne, not great, and also got hurt. Robbie Ashford, not great. I think he's playing for Wake Forest. Jackson Arnold, not great. And then they go back to whoever the fuck, Ashcraft, who started on Saturday night and then swapped out with Arnold, and then they realized, oh, he actually sucks. Hang on, back to the first idea. I think after the second or third quarterback, then I think the boosters and the athletic director realized, okay, it's not because we're not good athletes. These guys, TJ Finley's an NFL quarterback. Even if he's a backup, he's still in the NFL. It's pretty good compared to other college quarterbacks. Out of the 136 quarterbacks that start in college, only 32 make it to the NFL, and only 32 behind them become backups, right? So there's not a lot. There's a lot of separation there. Eventually, though, you're going to run out of excuses. And I think that when you look at the overall big picture, 6 wins in SEC play in fucking 4 years, I think he was there. For a program like Kentucky, that's forgivable because it's Kentucky. But if you're Auburn, losing to Kentucky, oh no. First time you've lost to Kentucky in 20 meetings, I think. Or no. I don't think so. Hang on. I want to say, since 2009. First time you lost to Kentucky since 2009. And Kentucky is 1-19. I think it's like 119 in games against Auburn and Jordan Hare.
They have a couple of and Jordan Hare.
They're 1-19. Yeah. I mean, that's in the last 20 meetings. That says it all. You hit rock bottom. And I know I think he was hanging on as well because he had another excuse. The referee's fucking him over. In some say the Oklahoma game, definitely in the Georgia game. I'm not gonna. It's you're pulling at straws here with the Oklahoma game, but the Georgia game, they absolutely kind of got screwed. The referee was so bad he got suspended for the rest of the season. But that doesn't excuse the other 3 losses. It really doesn't. You're 3-5. You're on the verge of not even going bowling this year, and you got 3 games left, including the one against fucking Alabama. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good fucking luck. Because ever since they got their asses poked with a spear by the Seminoles, they've been some pissed off elephants.
Granted, they do have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, but that's.
I mean, I know when it's rivalries, so you throw the records out the book and everything. And by the way, another stat I saw that was kind of cool. This is the 9th unique head coaching matchup in a row for the Iron Bowl coming up in a few weeks. That's crazy to think about.
We got Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah,
we got Kalen DeBoer. He going to lay the Alabama Crimson Tide. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cletus and Clyde after that one. I'm not surprised. It was happening one way or another. It was either going to happen during the season or after the season, and they decided, with all these other top jobs opening up, I think we're going to get on this too because our candidate might get wooed to another team if we're not careful.
Ooh, aye. Well, all I'm going to say about this is that whichever team lost this game, their coach was getting fired. So this is a win-lose situation for Kentucky. Yeah.
Stoops, I know Stoops is not doing great, but is he really going to get fired? How long has he been there?
Too long.
No shit, but still,
he's got the longest tenure of any coach in the SEC. I mean, I know that for a fact. He's been at Kentucky longer than Kirby Smart's been at Georgia.
Okay, well then fair enough.
There's an obvious plateau that has been hit with Kentucky. They're doing the same thing now every single year, and they're about to have another season where they don't even make a bowl game. It's just it's gotten really, really bad for him. And to go 3-6, 0-6 in the SEC, I think that would have done him in. But this win prevails him for just a little bit longer to the chagrin of the Kentucky fans.
Honestly,
Sorry,
it would not surprise me if they kept him around just because he beat Auburn and Jordan Hare. Because Kentucky does not give a fuck about football. They could wipe their ass with football.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got some super chats to go over first. Arctic Phoenix 27 with the 2 says, is JMU a legitimate group of 5 college football playoff contender? Right now, nobody in the group of 5 is a playoff contender.
Well, come on.
Nobody. There ain't a daggum soul in there.
Memphis, North Texas, those two right there.
Memphis lost to a coachless UAB. Let's get out.
I'm aware. I'm fucking aware. And Alabama lost to Florida State. Tell me the difference. Tell me the fucking difference.
Alabama's got a ranked win. South Florida don't count. That's Mickey Mouse.
No, Memphis did beat Arkansas, but still.
Yeah. Real quality win there. Eric says, I took the night off to watch the Georgia-Florida game, so ESPN got me for $30. Bite me, Disney. Yeah, hearing that one. Dang. And if worse off, I guess you're a Georgia fan, but if you're a Florida fan, that means you got hit by 2 mouses in the same day. Aye. That's tough.
Aye.
Katie Novaneko with the 2 says, someone please take away Beck's weed.
Stay off the damn weed.
My goodness. Ron Gab 248 says, I know the poll is between Auburn and Miami, but I would like to argue that the governor of Louisiana should be DA of the week for what he did to LSU.
Dumbass of the week. Well, if it was pulled a week prior, I would consider it, but I'll spoil it now. I got a little video I'm making on the side beside Week 10 Chaos this week that I might drop Friday or Saturday, depending on how development comes out. I got to get Chaos done, but
wait. How what comes out? How what comes out?
You motherfucker.
They lost this week, so I get to clown him even more.
He's not. Yeah, no shit. The desert rat Dan Mullen falls to the mighty Lobos of New Mexico. What the fuck? Kiss your playoff hopes goodbye. Oh, San Diego State. Since I'm thinking of them, they could be a contender. They did beat Cal. I mean, it's Cal, but fuck. I'm looking back.
It's Cal, but
if there's one conference we can agree on that doesn't belong in the college football playoff, it's the MAC. The MAC is the one conference that just you're not going to get a fucking soul to agree on anybody coming from there.
Mm-hmm. Void Man with the 5 says, thank you, Kentucky, for allowing me to laugh even more at Auburn. That's true. There's not enough laughing in the world for Auburn. I'll tell you that much.
Ole, is that? Sorry.
Yeah, no. But about San Diego State, though, they again, every single G5 team right now has a bad loss, except for okay. Let's get into this game because while we're on the topic, I guess we should just go ahead and right into it. Yeah, I guess this is a battle of the top tier G5s, North Texas and Navy. Of course, North Texas. Yeah. See, both of these teams, these are the only 2 teams I think that don't necessarily have that kind of bad loss. I mean, you could talk about South Florida. They have the loss to Memphis, but these 2 were also in contention. And I expected the Mean Green to take care of business here. I like their offense a whole lot more. And Messmaker certainly made a mess all over him. But the funny thing is, this wasn't a passing game for him. This was all about running the ball. Caleb Hawkins, dude, he obliterated that team.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, Blake Horvath is not that much of a passing quarterback for Navy. He's very much what you would call an old school veer style quarterback. They like to run the option, a lot of outside runs, misdirections, counters, traps. Navy runs it pretty old school. You know, they like to play the kind of football you get back in the 70s and 80s. And for them, it's kind of worked. They've kind of been able to bullshit their way to a 7-0 record. But I figured the Mean Green should be able to take care of this one because South Florida, even though they got 2 losses, they did beat North Texas. And they beat North Texas in a freaking shootout to end all shootouts. That would make the Big 12 in 2010 blush. But Mestemaker, he's green as shit. That's not an irony there. He's a true freshman quarterback. He's green as shit, but when he's hot, oh, brother, he is fucking hot. And when he's not, yeah, he's not. He didn't get a touchdown, but he didn't get a pick. He was pretty accurate with his throws. His running back, Caleb Hawkins, was the star of the Mean Green. 4 touchdowns, almost 200 yards rushing on the day against Navy. I would say that this loss pretty much takes Navy down to the bottom of the 3 teams in the American right now. Memphis, North Texas, and Navy that could still qualify for the playoff. And I would say it also probably knocks them below San Diego State and James Madison as well because of the way North Texas handled them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because by the time we talk about this 2 weeks later, they'll be way out of it because they've got an absolute gauntlet the rest of the stretch.
Yeah, talk about having to play Navy on Saturday on Notre Dame on Saturday. I mean, that's going to be a loss and that's going to knock them out of the playoff race completely. But imagine if it was the goddamn midshipmen that eliminated Notre Dame from the playoff. That's a playoff elimination game right there, brother. Notre Dame loses another game, they're out. If Navy loses another game, they're out. Everything's on the fucking line. The only thing Navy will still have to play for if they lose on Saturday is the Commander-in-Chief's trophy against Army in a few weeks. Which, I mean,
and they lost that last year, too. So,
I know. So
literally, who knows at this rate? Nobody does.
Paper tiger, right?
Right, exactly. Katie Novaneko at the 2 says, Messmaker was a punter / safety in high school, by the way. And now he is slinging it with the mean green. What a guy.
A Jets punter that became a solid quarterback in 99 when their quarterback got injured. I can't remember who the fuck it was. But for some reason, punters and quarterbacks go hand in hand sometimes in football. It's the weirdest thing.
If Virginia needs a new quarterback after Chandler Morris leaves, Messmaker, he's right there for the taking. That's all I can say about that.
I don't think North Texas is going to have enough money to keep that kid on campus. But, I mean, if they can, I mean, look the fuck out. Next year could be crazy. Tupa, that's it. Tom Tupa. Legendary
Tom
Tupa.
Yeah. What a guy.
I know you probably don't know who the fuck I'm talking about, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to see some you want to see something real funny? Don't you just love it when something you say eventually becomes vindicated after a couple of weeks? For whatever reason, this time around, during the midseason when people dump on the ACC and talk about how bad of a conference they are, you get these people in the midseason like, oh, the ACC's the best. The ACC's not bad. You're just mad that it's a better conference than everybody else. I got vindicated straight this week. I got so well vindicated. All that entire conference, I'm telling you, literally belongs in that trash can right there. Hell, you can't even see it because I got my laundry here. Forgot to fold my clothes, just like the dadgum conference folded this week.
Squidtard does not do his laundry. How shocking.
Yeah, you know who else doesn't? Georgia Tech's defense. Because that's one of many frauds that were exposed this past week. Okay, you got to explain how in the world can you be a playoff contender or supposed playoff contender and give up nearly 50 points and over 500 yards to Dave Doran? That is depressing. I mean, that is just unbelievably sad. We had a feeling that a letdown game was coming for Tech at some point in time. Stupid ACC, you made me look bad. Yeah, literally. We had a feeling a letdown game was coming for Tech in some short of time because they've been skating by everybody that they've played despite their record. And I didn't expect it to be this week. I'll tell you that much. I thought it was going to be later on against like Pittsburgh or something like that. But no, this was an ugly performance for Tech's defense. Haynes King, he's phenomenal. He put up 500 yards on his own. Literally, he is that team. Literally, it's another Syracuse situation, Red. Because if Haynes King ever gets down or he has a hangnail, this team suddenly goes from a playoff contender to the dadgum bottom of the conference, like in a snap of a finger. They literally go from playoff contender to Purdue. That's what happens to them. So if Haynes King stays healthy, they can compete with anybody in the country. But it definitely doesn't help that their defense came out with the worth of a sandpaper condom this week. Did not help them one bit. Now for Dave Doran, he goes on to 5-4, probably with this top 10 win, probably extends himself for yet another year, which means that NC State gets to deal with yet another average season next season with on average one upset. Congratulations.
Yeah. I first, when I saw the result of this game, I thought, oh, they finally learned how to shut down Haynes King. No, they didn't. They didn't shut down Haynes King at all. They didn't have to. It was a track meet, and NC State had a better conditioning than Georgia Tech. Tech just ran out of gas, 36 points in a game. You think that's going to win a fucking football game. As a Bengals fan, I can tell you firsthand, it's not. When your defense is about as porous as Swiss cheese, you could lose to the dumbest of teams in the dumbest of ways. And this is proof positive of that. Now, NC State, just from start to finish this game, they just dominated Georgia Tech's defense. And Georgia Tech, unfortunately, they just could not keep up with the scoring. It was an arena football game on a 100-yard field. But I will say that I don't think that this 100% means that Georgia Tech is fraudulent, at least not yet. Every team is going to have a game where they have a little bit of a trap placed before them, and some of them get past it, some of them don't. Last week, Alabama had a trap game against South Carolina. They escaped with their fucking lives. Texas had a trap game against Kentucky. They escaped with their fucking lives. Georgia Tech had a trap game against the Wolfpack. They got bit. So it's kind of it's par for the course in the ebbs and flows of the college football season. And they're still not out of the ACC title race. They're definitely not out of the playoff race because they've only got one loss, whereas some other teams we're going to get to have at least 2 losses in the ACC at this point, and they're well out of the race at this point. So it's not over for them, but I agree with you 100%. A one-trick pony gets boring fast and is pretty easy to figure out. And unfortunately, Haynes King, despite being a dual-threat mobile quarterback, which it means 2 things to me. One, he could probably beat half of the teams in the SEC because they can't fucking figure out how to do that. And 2, the second you remove Haynes King from the equation or render him ineffective, it's curtains.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Voidman with the 2 says ACC anti-championship contenders. Much appreciated. Ain't that the truth? Don't Feed Phil with the 2 says the ACC is the new Pac-12. I'd argue the ACC is just the ACC. Yeah.
How dare you spit on the grave?
Kevin with the 2 says, how long until the Cavaliers go belly up?
I'll give it a week.
Probably somewhere around that range. But yeah, anyway, yeah, definitely not the best performance from Tech. And I feel a little bit more, I'd be a little bit more surprised had they not been doing this every single week. Piss poor defense, the Haynes King show. It's more of the same for Tech. But thanks to their good buddies from Coral Gables, they are not the biggest embarrassment in the conference this week.
Nope.
Womp, womp, womp. Now tell me if you've heard this one before, Red. Tell me if you've heard this one before.
Please tell me.
Cristobal's it up and blows it.
Oh, yes.
And loses out on the playoffs.
Most famously, he did so against Georgia Tech, if you haven't forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no. Last year it was because they had a pathetic defense come out against Tech and Syracuse. This season, now it's because they have an offense, a struggling offense, come out against SMU and Louisville. And this was another result of that here. And it's funny enough because it ended the exact same way the Louisville game ended. Dadgum freaking Carson Beck throwing a game-losing interception at the very end of the ball game, this time in overtime. He couldn't even throw it in regulation here. He had to wait until OT. Yeah, it's another back-breaking loss for the Canes. Say goodbye to your ACC championship chances, your playoff chances, more or less pretty much everything that you were hoping for this year. It's back down the drain once again. I don't know how patient these Miami fans are going to be about Mario Cristobal because they have had an easy path for the past 2 years because the entire conference has died around them. And then, people talk about, it's just Miami and then everybody else. And then they follow suit and they do it in a worse way than everybody else. This is their second loss. And I mean, this is a good win for SMU, obviously. This is their top 10 win. One of the biggest wins probably since they got the death penalty. I can say that for certain. Yeah,
first top 10 win in Gerald Ford Stadium since before the death penalty, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So it was a worthy field rush. There's no way I can deny that. Kevin Jennings had a great day on through the air. A lot of questions I think need to be surfaced about where the expectations lie for the Hurricane fans, because this is a brutal loss. This was an absolutely brutal loss in a conference that was theirs until it wasn't. So, tough break there. Kevin with the 2, he says the problem is that it's the ACC. Everyone dies, or just everyone sucks.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar on the lines. Miami is like the one healthy soul in a village filled with people sick with cholera. They see the people sick and dying all around them, wearing their fancy clothes and nice jewelry like the lords of the manor. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm better than you. but they're stupid enough to grab a mug, go to the same trough everyone else is drinking out of, and drink the fucking water they're drinking and get the same goddamn illness. It's literally them self-inflicting cholera on themselves every goddamn year, and they really don't need to when the bottle of wine is right fucking there, bro. This is just the same old with Miami. I called it start of the season. I said, Miami's going to blow this at some point. They're going to fuck it up because it's Miami. We always see it happen. It doesn't matter if it was Cristobal, doesn't matter if it was Coker, it doesn't matter who the fuck was in charge of Miami. Ever since Ohio State beat them for the national championship in 2002, it's been like, you fucking suck. Do you guys have your bright spots? And then you just decide, you know what? I'm going to drink from the shitty water again because fuck it, everyone else is. And you just continue to do this to yourselves for no goddamn reason. From losing the Orange Bowl to the Miami Marlins and going to fucking Hard Rock Stadium to Mario Cristobal not knowing game clock management to now Carson Beck being the exact opposite of clutch in overtime and just sharing the spirit of Christmas in the worst way possible. It honest to God, I don't know what's going to fix this team. You can fire Mario Cristobal, but you need to tear everything down to the studs, man. You need to go back to I'm talking burn it all to a crisp and start over from scratch. Fire everyone, fire the athletic director, get rid of all the guys, let all the players leave, and just start over. That's the only way you can cure some plagues. Can only be cured with flames.
Well, the problem isn't the talent. The problem is not the talent. This is an extremely talented team, the most talented in the conference. But they've been that way for a long time. They just keep getting in their own way and blowing themselves up.
The only player that I really think on Miami that come hell or high water they need to keep for everything they have is Malachi Toney. That's it. Everybody else, I think that they could genuinely do without and find a replacement, and they'll be fine, especially Carson Beck. But Malachi Toney, he's the only player on this roster I feel like is irreplaceable.
What about Ruben Bain? Ruben Bain is one of the most valuable players on the defense, any defense specifically.
They gave up 26 points to the SMU Mustangs.
Well, he's not a one-man show, and that doesn't mean he's. I mean, South Carolina's got Dylan Stewart, and their defense is a literal potato.
Is there anybody backing up Ruben Bain on the defense? No.
Is there anybody backing up Ruben Bain on the defense?
Yeah, you got to have more than one player on the defense to fucking do your job.
Jacoby Thomas is about the closest thing to it.
Yeah, but you got to think about it for a minute, right? Like, football is a team sport. The quarterback doesn't play well unless you have a solid offensive line. The running back doesn't play well unless you have a solid offensive line. The linebackers don't get to the quarterback unless the defensive lineman blows open the offensive line, creates the gaps for the linebackers to sneak in or to rush around the outside. The defensive end can't crash in on the quarterback unless you got a fucking hard-nosed defensive tackle there raising hell, forcing two offensive linemen to get on his ass. It's a team sport. You're not going to – I see a team full of individuals with Miami. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of players on here that individually have a lot of talent, but there is no fucking chemistry there. And Carson Beck is the biggest sucker of them all because he's the most talented player on that whole goddamn team besides Malachi Toney, and he still chokes it away every chance they get when the lights get bright and it gets hot. It hasn't changed at Miami since the days of big pads and dark visors, and it frustrates the hell out of me because they could be great.
I'm the most disappointed about Miami losing this, actually. Here's the thing. I had people love the songs, okay? I actually had a song in mind for when Miami eventually gets eliminated from the playoffs and I make their Get Out video. I had a great idea in mind for their song, all revolving around Mario, and they ruined it by being the dadgum Miami Hurricanes. So thank you again for blowing it. You need to go ahead and just remake the Big East because until that happens, you're just going to keep You're never winning the conference. You're never winning the ACC. You guys can keep crying about that Miami video I made. Remember that? I made that Miami video over the offseason. I had tons of Miami fans go in there and be like, oh, yeah? Well, you're a Tennessee fan, and Tennessee will win no conference. They can't even win the conference. Yeah, look where you are. You can't win anything either. You're a way easier conference than we do. You don't have to play every ranked team in America every single week. No, you play a bunch of bums and you just constantly find ways to blow it up. This is your conference. But that's what you said. We got Carson Beck this time. We got Carson Beck going to lead us to the promised land. Carson Beck only led you to a dadgum game-losing interception, you absolute bums. No, get effed out of the seventh floor again, you dummies. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the next
crackers
game.
And chocolate. We just made some s'mores over here out of the Miami Hurricane asses. Like, I'm kind of hungry now.
Hey, no, I've already gotten my fair share of happiness when it comes to teams eating crow, and it was long overdue for these clowns. Okay, here's the thing. This is obviously going to be one of the best seasons they've had in program history. No doubt about that. Nobody's ever going to deny that. But I think Diego Pavia more specifically got a lot of the taste of his own medicine here, because the dude has been talking a lot of talk. He did not walk it here. Well, he walks it in the fourth quarter, but everywhere else, Vandy got absolutely stomped on in the first three quarters of this ball game. You know, Texas took care of business, and then they let Vandy crawl all the way back into it, take it to an onside kick, which thankfully Texas recovered, but the Longhorns do prevail. They do survive. And most importantly, they keep their hopes of the playoffs alive with this win. And we call – I'll tell you what. This was the Arch Manning game, I think. 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had that through the air. Now, he didn't run the ball any, but that's actually really good if you're Arch Manning, because up until now, that's all he was able to do. He couldn't throw worth a damn, but he finally found a way to do so. This was the game where people have finally realized, oh, Arch Manning actually does have at least a little bit of talent. He's definitely not the quarterback that he was hyped up to be, but he did work here. He's proven to not be completely useless, and that goes a long, long way when you're in the different leagues conference. And Vandy goes down. While they're still in the running for the playoffs, they have to win out at this point, which I will tell you what, it actually does look a whole lot easier now than it did before. But Vandy has to win out in order to be considered for playoff eligibility at this point. They're 7-2. To me, it's all going to come down to what they do throughout the rest of the season, and we'll talk about that in a few. But yeah, no. Texas wins. Pavia goes down.
I'm going to start off by saying two things. Number one, Arch Manning played pretty good. His offensive line finally stepped up and protected him. The reason why he had so many damn rushing yards for a lot of the games this year is because his offensive line kept breaking down, and he was running for his life. He got his ass whipped the last couple of games. He was on the ground a lot. So to see him in this game finally get some protection from the offensive line and finally get to show what he's capable of, you love to see that if you're a Texas fan. You've been waiting to see this shit all year. Could it be the first step in the right direction to what we can see the next year to 2 years of Arch Manning? I don't know. We'll fucking see. I need to see bigger than one game here, but it definitely should give Texas fans hope and optimism. If not for this season, then definitely for next year. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get off Diego Pavia just a smidge here. I think your Tennessee Volunteer fandom is coming out just a wee bit in those remarks. Just a wee bit. Like, I just being a little bit of a homer there, okay? Diego Pavia, what happened with Vandy against Texas was simple. They got beat. In this game today and Saturday in Austin, Texas, they got beat by Texas. They got bullied that first half. I was watching it. It wasn't because of Diego Pavia making mistakes. It wasn't because of Diego Pavia being a cocky asshole or any of that bullshit. They were physically bullied the first 20 minutes of this ball game. I mean, absolutely blown off their heels. And then towards the end of the second quarter, they started to wake up. They started to start scoring. They started moving the ball. Finally, they got the offense moving. And then finally, late in the third, going into the fourth, they really hit their stride. Texas couldn't stop them. They made the adjustments. They finally got going. And Texas is supremely lucky football only has 15-minute quarters, because all Vandy needed was one more minute, and they would have came back, and they would have been able to tie this fucker up. I promise you that. Nothing was stopping them in that fourth quarter. They could have ran through a fucking brick wall. And the only reason why they lost is because they let Texas get ahead so quick, and they came out flat. That's the reason why they lost. Does that mean that Diego Pavia is a bad quarterback or he's been exposed? Not necessarily. He didn't throw any picks. Didn't drop. He had like one fumble on a strip sack. That was his biggest mistake all day. But still threw 3 touchdowns. I mean, nearly 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. If you drop the ball once and it gives up a touchdown in a 34-31 game, I'm not going to pin all the blame on him. I'm going to pin the blame on the defense first.
I mean, yeah, no, well, I won't deny it was mostly the defense at fault there. Pavia did have a good day, but that's your whole point about the smack talking thing. The dude was wearing chains in the press conference. If you're doing that, you're basically just asking for it. That's if you're going to ask who else does it, Deion Sanders, and he was asking for it too. That's all you need to know.
He's not the first son of a bitch to wear chains to a press conference.
No, I don't deny that, but he's definitely, and he's not the first to be. He's not the first to be bodied for doing that either.
I know, but if you're gonna body him over something, man, you gotta body him over something that only he does. That is supremely stupid. Wearing chains to a press conference, it's silly. It's kind of dumb, but so is Shador flashing the watch. So is Johnny Manziel's money sign. I've seen dumber shit from people for many years.
Yeah, we bodied him. They bodied both of those guys too. I made a whole video about Shador Sanders being selected in the 5th round of the NFL draft because of that.
I wouldn't waste my fucking breath on that dude.
Yeah, anyway, you know who else I wouldn't waste my breath on, but I kind of have to? My own bum-ass team. I mean, you guys are waiting on it, so I might as well just go ahead and get into it. Yeah, we suck. Yeah, no, there isn't much I got to say here, Red. I got less to say about this one than I did the last 2 weeks because now I know the truth. I've tried to deny it for the longest time, but the reality is Tennessee is not a good football team. They're not. We're not a good football team. We've been doing this every single week, skating by even the worst of the worst in the conference because we have a bipolar offense, a piss poor defense, and the thing that's missing the most on this Tennessee roster, and we've been missing it for the longest time, the killer mentality. I don't know. I think the killer mentality of Tennessee left with Alex Golish. Because ever since then, we have been soft. We've been getting pushed around up front and in the backfield. Josh Heupel's clock management has been absolutely awful, and a lot of that is because he's the one running the offense now. I mean, Joey Hazel is running some plays too, but Heupel has taken that load on his own because he doesn't trust his own coordinator. And the way I see that is if you don't trust your own coordinators to help you out in your own game, then why in the absolute hell are they still employed? That's what I want to know. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that. I don't think anybody does because he's kept these guys around ever since he's been there. And both of our coordinators, all of our assistant coaches, with the exception of a few, one of them being Rodney Garner on the defensive line. Shout out to him. When Tim Banks eventually does become fired, that would be one of the options I would consider for the guy who'd get that job as the new defensive coordinator. Because let's be real here, the coordinators are absolutely awful. Everything around Heupel is absolutely terrible, and thus it has caused the management and the play calling up front to be absolutely terrible. And I think a lot of that has been sort of confirmed in that final stretch of the game there. Tennessee and Oklahoma are going back at it, back and forth. The fourth quarter comes around. Tennessee's going down the field. They get into close to the red zone, and they have a decision on 4th and 1 to go for it. They're down, so they're in kind of a position where they have to. Instead of just punching the ball up the middle like you've done before, instead what they do is they run a pass play to a true freshman tight end who has only stayed in the field maybe twice in glorified scrimmages. And guess what happens? He drops it because our offensive line up front can't block anybody. David Sanders got pushed around the entire day. In fact, not only that, but he flat out missed assignments. I saw multiple read options where 2 offensive linemen were blocking the same defensive lineman. It's a fundamental issue on this team that's only that can only be fixed through coaching, which we clearly lack. We clearly lack it. So all that to say, Tennessee as a fan base right now is torn between two different sides of the same fence. One side is ready to get rid of everything, to drop Heupel, to drop the entire coaching staff, and to drop whatever players go along with him and start anew like we have. And then the other side of the fan base, especially on the very, very far side, is the analysts and people like Josh Pate and all the other Tennessee sunshine pumpers, where everything is blue skies and rainbows and happiness in the air. And you look at all the unicorns. And it's the same thing every week. It doesn't matter that we lost this game. It doesn't matter that Tennessee, as a talented team, lost to an Oklahoma team that basically went into their house in the dark mode uniforms and all, one of the most supposed to be hostile stadiums across the country. It doesn't matter that they went in there and basically punched your shit in. That doesn't matter, because you know why? Remember the decade of dysfunction with Derek Dooley and Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt. So therefore, because of that, every single bad thing that has happened to Tennessee, every single mistake, all of the failures in coaching can now be excused because of what happened 10 years ago. It's that way of thinking that's going to get us in an even worse spot than the otherwise would be under firing Josh Heupel. And if you're wondering where I stand in the situation, I am actually standing on top of the fence, because there's part of me that's ready to get rid of Josh Heupel, because I'm tired of this. I'm legitimately tired of this. It's the same product these past 3 years, the same mistakes, the same fundamental issues. Nothing is getting fixed. The clock management from Heupel is getting worse and worse, to the point that he might just be Les Miles 2.0. He might be getting closer and closer to literally Les Miles 2.0. And that's a very, very, very bad spot to be. And the only way you can fix stuff like this is to start back at the fundamentals, and more importantly, get you a coaching staff that you can dadgum rely on. And that starts with firing Tim Banks and anybody else that needs to go to, because Tim Banks has been around since the start of this Tennessee tenure. And with the exception of James Pierce Jr., everything with him has been absolutely terrible. And I'm sure you could talk about how Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson are out, but that doesn't excuse what we're seeing on the field tonight, because this team has the potential, they have the talent, and if it wasn't for all the times they've gotten in their own way and beat themselves, we'd be in a really, really good position right now. And I've heard people say, well, Heupel, Josh Heupel has gotten us into a lot of really good situations. It's the team that's failing. It's the team that's 6-3. It's Josh Heupel that's actually 8-1. Oh, you mean the same coach that literally iced our own kicker, which is the reason why we lost to Georgia, or the same coach that called a passing play from 4th and 1 or from the goal line against Alabama to throw a 99-yard pick six? That coach, excuse me, that coach ain't doing nothing for us right now. I don't know if you realize that, but that coach is not doing what we need, and more importantly, what we're supposed to be getting out of Tennessee, because I'm about sick of it. I'm sick of the dadgum talent fee. I'm sick of Danny White going around talking about how we're an everything school and that we're one of the most prestigious programs in the country. We're masquerading as an elite college football program when at best we're dadgum average. This is an average football program that's paying elite money. That's the stupidest part of it. We're paying elite money for an average product on the field. That's what's going on here. That's what's got me so mad, because for Tennessee games specifically, the fans are paying more out of their own booty cheeks than any other team in the country. More than Bama, more than Georgia, more than Ohio State, Penn State, any of these other programs that are supposed to be the tippy top of the college football landscape. And yet here we are trying to go along with them, but yet we keep getting piss poor crap like this all over the field. You can't rationalize it anymore, because now when you're in a position where a family of four has to pay more than $1,000 to go to a Tennessee football game, it is absolutely horrendous. None of the passionate Tennessee fans that aren't doctors can go to these games anymore. It's sad. It's sad for the fans, the diehard college football fans, and you could excuse it if Tennessee was at that elite level and winning games. But the best win Tennessee has all daggum season is an overtime win over Mississippi State. You can't rationalize it anymore. There's no room for that. So to me, and I'll end it off with this, and then we can move on. To me, it all comes down to what we see in 3 weeks. Thankfully, we're on a bye, so I can't be hurt by whatever happens next week. But then we play some high school team. I'm sure we'll score 1 billion points on him. 3 weeks from now, we go into Gainesville, Florida, to face off against the team that we haven't won in their home turf in over 20 years. If we lose, and I mean, if we lose that game, I don't care if it's because of ref ball, piss poor defense, I don't care what excuse the Tennessee fans are to roll out with. If we don't go in there and win that game against the Florida team without their head coach, from that point onward, I will be completely out on Josh Heupel. From that point onward, I will go ahead and say fire everybody, including Josh Heupel, because if that happens, then it's very, very clear that he has made no changes with this team, and he is not the guy to get us to where we want to be. And that's all I got. But first, super chat from Not Josh Elander with the 5 says, we should not fire Heupel, but we should make some coordinator changes. That's what the majority of the fans think. And a majority of the fans agree with that, but you've got a lot of these analysts coming out saying, oh, look at all these Tennessee fans saying fire with Josh Heupel. A lot of them are using it for engagement bait because if you know anything about the Tennessee fan base, anytime you say anything bad about them, like Tennessee fans smell, they go absolutely ballistic and send you death threats. Like we all know that to be the case. But I mean, there are some people who are just running around saying like Josh Heupel is a top 10 coach in the country. No, he's not. Until he gets this clock management crap fixed out, he's the furthest thing away from it. So we've got a lot of issues. That's all I really got to say.
I do want to give my 2 cents on this for sure, because Tennessee is a very interesting case here. I think that not being a fan of the Volunteers kind of gives me the opportunity to really kind of look at it from a 1,000-foot view instead of being in the dog shit trenches with everybody else like you are, which arguably fucking power to you, brother. It's tough being in your spot. Look, let's look at the positives for a second. I know I'm a cynical fucker, and therefore it's weird for me to say, well, let's look at the bright side. Let's look at the bright side for a second. Imagine if you didn't have Joey Aguilar and you had to go with some scrub to replace Nico after you lost him during the offseason. Okay? Considering what you lost, and I know Nico has been a fucking train wreck at UCLA and blah, blah, blah. He led you to the playoffs last year. Let's not forget that. Okay? Give the bastard his due.
The defense and Dylan Sampson did, but carry on.
Okay. Joey Aguilar has been, in terms of, quarterbacks, a massive improvement over Nico. We can agree on that, right? Okay.
Oh, so, yeah. No, that's
so,
leagues and bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all won the first and probably last trade in college football history, considering what happened with transfer rules. What disappoints me the most about Tennessee is the fact that Joey Aguilar seems to be regressing. He's regressing hard. He started off the season white hot, had excellent games in the first half, but you're looking at these numbers against Oklahoma. Yeah, 393 yards, great. He also threw 2 picks. He seems to be having some trouble in the pocket. He does not seem, to me at least, to be the same quarterback that they started the season with. Something happened. Something's going wrong. Something's going wrong with the play calling. He's a great quarterback, and it's a damn shame y'all can't have him for another year. I would not blame Heupel for a second on all of it. Some of it, yeah, head coach. He's got to take ultimate responsibility. I would say if you're going to look at anybody to fire, Joey Hazel, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator, Tim Banks, those are 2 people you need to get rid of if you lose to Florida. Bar fucking none. I'd say they should be out the door same fucking night that you lose to Florida. I think that Tennessee in general failing here is kind of like the summation of what every single college football program that is trying to smash through that glass ceiling right now is kind of going through. But Tennessee is magnified because they're in the SEC. They have such a loyal fan base, such a massive fan base. They have a prestigious history, and then they also are bumping the fucking prices up on their fans, claiming we're going to get this great talent and we're going to win these games. And then they don't, because even though they have the great talent, the coaches that are on staff don't know what the fuck to do with it. I genuinely feel like Heupel he has to shoulder the blame as head coach, but I'm agree with you. I'm not on the fence. I'm not going to say fire Josh Heupel. I'm going to say clear out the coordinators and find guys that know how to take the talent you guys already have and use it to the full potential that you could use it to, because I genuinely don't think that Tennessee is playing at their full potential here, considering the talent you guys have on your team. And that's all I'm going to say on that. You had the potential to be national champions, but your coaches don't know what the fuck they're doing. Your coordinators. Heupel, I think he's a fine coach. And I don't think Tennessee should get rid of him. Coordinators, get the fuck out of here. Get in the hook. It's just my as a
I wish we would. I've been preaching that since the start of the season. Since before the season began, it's time for some of these guys to go. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even have the fundamentals down. Glenn Ellerby, our offensive line coach, he's gonna ruin David Sanders. And it's more of the same problems, man. And I know we haven't talked any about Oklahoma because obviously this is a big win for them. First road win against a ranked SEC team since 2019. Obviously a huge win for the Sooners. But I will say, as good of a win that was for Oklahoma, a lot of it was due to Tennessee shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah. But we're going to find out real quick about what the Sooners are actually capable of when they go to Tuscaloosa. That'll tell the tale.
I already know what's going to happen when they go to Tuscaloosa, man. Let's not coat the shit with sugar here, okay? They're going to get their asses blasted by Alabama. They're not anywhere near. South Carolina has a better team, I think, if you think as a whole, than Oklahoma. And the only reason why South Carolina is struggling as hard as they have is because they have a rough draw with the schedule, and they also they don't have much else besides Lenore Sellers. But Lenore Sellers, he's kind of like Diego Pavia. He can take a team to a solid record if everybody else around him is passable. It's just that South Carolina really isn't all that passable for the rest of the way.
No. All right. Well, with all that being said, it's 9:00, so it's time to go through our weekly shout outs. We're going to try and get most of the good stuff out of the way here. We're going to start out with a shout out to the good old Road Runners, Meep, from UTSA. They shut down Tulane's playoff run. Tulane will be out of the playoff race out of this one. Whoever thought that Bear Bachmeier and BYU would be in the playoff race for longer than Jake Retzloff? How about that?
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect that at all. The Jake Retzloff experiment at Tulane, good season. That's going to be a good season regardless for Tulane, but they're definitely going to be disappointed to miss out on the playoffs. But a conference championship could still happen. You never know with these fucking things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I don't even know who to shout out for this one. I guess shout out to nobody for producing what I would consider the ugliest form of football we've ever seen in our lives. Again, Georgia Tech fans ought to be very, very worried because this is what you're turning into if Haynes King gets injured. Everything after that. I mean, look at that. Joseph Filardi. I think this was his first start for Syracuse. 4 of daggum 18. 4 of 18. Look at his QBR. Look at his QBR. A 1.9.
He would have been better off slugging it into the ground 18 times. Jesus Christ.
That is literally, that's a QBR lower than the GPA of Georgia fans. Oh my goodness, that's bad.
Damn.
Holy crap. Syracuse is just, their offense is full on potato. And it's made all the worse the fact that they just lost to Jordan Hudson's wife. That's what makes it all the worse.
Oh God. I cannot believe that. I mean, it's not Syracuse's fault. When they lost to Jelly, I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and Syracuse is very much in hell right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's certainly a toilet bowl, you guys. You guys don't have to worry about that. Yeah. No denying that. All right. Well, weekly shout out for Reds team here. Once again, they go through another week with little issue. Now, y'all did have a bit of a problem there in the first half. Definitely put up a bit of a scare. But then Ohio State talent pulled through in the second half. Y'all take care of business. You move on to 8-0.
You fail to remember that the Ohio State defense does not give up points. Sure, we gave up 14 to Penn State. You got, okay, take away the one in garbage time. Sure. We gave up 7 to Penn State for most of this game. All we had to do was get 10 points on the board, and we would win. Therefore, I do declare the beatings will continue until morale improves. Fuck off, Penn State. See you in 2028.
Great. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Penn State gets a break from y'all. That's great news.
Yeah,
they got to be real happy about that one.
They'll give enough time to heal from the ass kicking we just laid on them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe find a worthy head coach to run that fucking program because, goddamn, they're in trouble.
No, Brian Kelly, baby. Good old BK. You think BK go? Okay, enough. That's stupid.
Let's not get carried away here. I think
Penn State's smarter than that, I imagine. All right.
Alex Golesh would be a high candidate there, I think.
Yeah, right. All right. Shout out to again, same business as usual. They're now 9-0. The Hoosiers are after a dominating performance over the month of November this time. Maryland's moved down to 4-4. Little bit of speculation from Maryland insiders saying that this is going to be the week Mike Locksley gets the can, and if not that, we're going to see it next week. We're going to see it at some point because they're going to continue to nosedive as the month of November progresses. Anyway, Indiana with another dominant win. The Hoosiers move on. They're probably going to finish 12-0 before everything's said and done.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the last game of the season when they play Purdue when they go 12-0 because I don't think they're going to literally they are nuking everybody in their way. It's like you're playing a game of Fallout and you're just wandering the wasteland with a fucking nuke gun and you're just firing them off left to right and center. There's no recourse. There's no reason for them to be putting up 50 burgers on their opponents every fucking week. And yet here we are. They just blow the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. No doubt about it. Anyway, shout out to Disney World because the Magic Kingdom got another one today. Like I said, 2 mouses, one on this day. One is very obvious, and then the other is the Georgia Bulldogs. Beat up on rival Florida Gators, 24-20. Florida put up a big fight. DJ Lagway tried his damnedest to win that game for him, especially at the end. But Georgia pulls on through. Gunnar Stockton had a great day, 223 yards. Georgia did about what you would have expected. The defense is a bit of a question, I will say that, but the Georgia offense went out there, took care of business, and more importantly, they move on, they survive and thrive, and they
Georgia
keep their playoff run alive.
I wouldn't be giving them any compliments here. They played like shit. Florida fired their head coach. Florida's been one of those teams this season that if you play them and you play them close, you should be worried about your fucking team. They're probably going to lose when you least expect it. So the fact that not only did Georgia, they barely beat Florida. Florida led for a good chunk of the game, actually. So it was tied. Florida was leading. Georgia was leading. Yeah. They played like shit. Gunnar Stockton did not impress me at all. He really didn't. You can say 20 for 29, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick, didn't really show me anything. Just genuinely, I'm not in. This is not the same. Georgia played better against Ole Miss.
I mean, well, thing is about Florida, they are a talented team. They've got one. I think they've got a really good defense. The only problem was it was run by a bunch of brainless blobs. So I think they know a little bit more now that Billy is gone. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But and then of course you hear the same people crying about the ref ball at the end of that game there. Lagway throws a deep bomb. It looks to be caught, but the refs ruled it incomplete, and that pretty much derailed any of Florida's chances to win the ball game. People cried about ref ball, but it's their fault for getting in that position anyway. If they wanted to win the game, they should have been up well beforehand instead of leaving it up to the refs. And about Georgia's shitty performance, all you got to do again, survive and thrive, because they've won 7 games and only lost 1. Meanwhile, Carson Beck just threw another game-winning interception to let Miami lose. So, again, survive and thrive.
Yeah, Georgia could give a shit less. They won.
Yeah. Well, it's important that they do because they're going to need all of it before they get to Georgia Tech, who knows what can happen there.
Genuinely, when you get clean old-fashioned heyday, everything's out the fucking window.
Yeah. Here's another contender right here. Of course, the Ole Miss Rebels win again. Shout out to them. Shout out to Trinidad Chambliss. Not his best day. Not his best day. He struggled against the Carolina defense. They kind of did whatever they wanted to him. They were held back by penalties, but then again, Sellers was blowing it too. He's sold too. It's a lot of the same issues for South Carolina. The Mike Shula offense piss poor. And it was piss poor enough to where they went ahead and finally gave him the can. He did not even last a single season with the South Carolina offense. They kicked him out after 9 games. That tells you all about how bad Mike Shula was with South Carolina. But Rebels survive and thrive off of Kawan Lacey. So that's all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, they had to do something at South Carolina. I mean, Shane Bieber's probably going to be out the fucking door at the end of the season. I can't imagine him staying in South Carolina if they don't go bowling. I really can't. You got Lenora Sellers, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation coming into the season on paper, and genuinely a great quarterback, but this is the best you could fucking do. 3-6 with, 4 weeks to go. What the fuck are you guys doing? What in the actual fuck are you guys doing? It's ridiculous. Genuinely. It really is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm starting to think a lot like Wisconsin, that there's another team in the Power 5 that's just completely broke, and that's Boston College. They lost again this time to Notre Dame, so shout out to the Fighting Irish. They're now officially bowl eligible at 6-2 now. But Boston College is so bad. They're 1-8 now. I cannot figure out for the life of me how Bill O'Brien has not been canned yet. I know they don't have a lot of talent to work with, but Grayson James has looked good ever since he's been there. Dylan Lonergan, he has potential as a freshman. They've got potential on the roster. They just don't figure out how to use it. So they piss away another game. They've lost 8, and they've still got 3 more to play. It's just, this is going on par to be one of the worst years for BC we've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't imagine if they lose out that Bill O'Brien will stay. If they can squeeze out a win or two here, I think they'll give him one more year to kind of try to right the ship. But this is just, I did not expect Boston College to nosedive like this in year 2 of the Bill O'Brien experiment, considering that Bill O'Brien was awful at the Texans. He did some good things at Penn State, a power football program in rough shape after the scandal that they went through. He did some good things there with, more resources. Granted, you don't have as many resources at Boston College. The player pool you have isn't as deep. So you got to be more creative. And I don't know if he just hasn't been able to figure it out. I think BC is going to give him one more year just for the fuck of it, because it's not going to get any better with anybody else. And compared to the other jobs that are open right now, all the fucking star-studded jobs, getting rid of Bill would probably hurt them more than help them.
Probably.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Who
I don't
the
know.
fuck would go to Boston College right now?
I don't really know. Dub Gamers 22 at the 5 says Dodgers win World Series. Houston loses to West Virginia. Speaking of that, here it is for you. Shout out to the Mountaineers for getting a huge win on the road at Houston. And CJ Stroud is out with a concussion. It's a bad week for Houston. Really, really bad week for the Cougars here. Losing to one of the worst teams in the Big 12, 45-35. Absolutely horrendous performance by the defense. Connor Walgreens did whatever he could to try and win him the game, but what definitely was far from enough to get the job done there. Scotty Fox, I think this was his first start with West Virginia, or it might be his second. Point is, though, he went out there, took care of business. He keeps the Mountaineers' bowl hopes alive, even if just by a thread.
They're not going to go bowling, but, West Virginia did also beat Pitt earlier in the season, so give the Mountaineers a little bit of credit. They might be the mortal enemy of my YouTube channel, but I'll give them a shred of credit here. They're showing signs of life. Will it get them to a bowl game? Probably not, but there's some foundation there to build upon for next year for Rich Rodriguez and company. So, if you're a West Virginia Mountaineers fan, you beat a top 25 team and you beat Pitt, compared to what you had coming into the season, man, I'd be happy. Or at least not as sad.
Yeah. Well, if you want to see what a dead body looks like, a couple of words describe that. The expectation is greater than the appreciation, and this fan base now has neither. My goodness, it's getting worse and worse for Clemson by the week. 45-46 loss to the Blue Devils at home. Duke with a very clutch 2-point conversion at the end of that ball game to go up by 1 point. Daria Mensah put the team on his back there with 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Dominant performance by him. Cade Club Dix did whatever he could to try and get them W, but again, you messed up too many times, especially on par with the fact that the defense just didn't want to show up on this day. and it's just getting worse and worse for Dabo. And he said something in the press conference pretty much exemplifies exactly where his position is. He was like, in order to win football games, you can't lose football games. And I'm like, wow.
No shit, Sherlock.
What incredible. Oh, my goodness.
Call him Vince Lombardi.
What? I mean,
genius.
Truly the Albert Einstein of our time.
Not since Joe Heisman have we seen such a smart, wonderful football coach. Suck a dick, Dabo. God damn. Look, I'm not even going to mince my words here. I genuinely feel like Clemson should be ready to move on from Dabo. I'm not fucking kidding. The reason why I say this mostly is because it is so obvious that he has completely fucked the program raw by being slow to the punch on NIL and transfer portal nonsense. He refused to do it. They got behind, and instead of embracing it full force as soon as they realized it, it was like a slow little drip. Like, oh, I'll do a few drops of NIL and transfer portal. But look what it fucking got you. 3-5. You're laying in bed with NC State at this point in terms of like being one of the worst teams in the ACC. And at least NC State can beat Georgia fucking Tech. What the hell have you got? You beat LSU? Congrats. We saw how that fucking panned out when we got towards the end of the season. Dabo is cooked. I have no – it's not just because they beat Ohio State either, motherfucker. I have no sympathy for Clemson fans. When it's very clear, they have gangrene right now. They have gangrene in their right hand. And their right hand is green, it's rotten, and it's about to fall off. You need to save yourselves by cutting that shit off. Cut him off. It's done. Happy times were had, great laughs and good fun. Some hardware was won. Get the fuck out.
In case you're curious about what Dabo actually said.
But just, to win, you got to not lose. I mean, it's just simple as that.
Albert Einstein, what an incredible analysis. Holy crap. I mean,
I'm sorry.
You heard
they
the man.
Beat LSU. They did not beat LSU. They lost to LSU. I forgot about it.
But just, to win, you got to not lose. I mean, it's just simple as that.
They lost so good that I thought they won.
To his credit, he's not wrong. But did you guys know in order to win football games, you can't lose them? What can I say? Don't feed Phil with the 2 says, I 100% believe Dabo is the caveman from Geico. You might be on
to grow a beard, and then I might believe that.
By the way, that quote, it might jump. The expectation is greater than the appreciation for the Dabo quote you're going to hear on Chaos. That is, oh my goodness, that is comedy right there. Okay, real quick, let's just do these final few shout outs and then we'll go ahead and get into the next week. Shout out to Virginia. They're 8-1, beat Cal 31-21. Chandler Morris with a pretty good day offensively. Virginia moves up in the ACC. Louisville, same thing. They beat Virginia Tech 28-16. So they will move on to 7-1, 4-1 in the ACC. Their hopes, if by a thread, are still alive. Utah with a big win over Cincinnati, 45-14, dominated the Bearcats at home. You clearly don't like that, so explain that.
I just feel bad for the Bearcats. I live in Cincinnati. I sympathize for them. I really wanted to believe that they could have a chance to take on the top of the conference, and unfortunately, they're not quite there. Great season. They're going to finish strong, have them get a good bowl game, and maybe get some hardware out of it. But yeah, when they play BYU, they're going to get slaughtered. I fear. They just did not play well against Utah at all.
Well, if we know anything, to win the games, you can't lose.
I know. That's gonna have you're gonna have to make a meme for that to put on this fucking show from now on. I hope you know that.
For sure. Yeah,
but
don't
worry.
With
just like with development, it's gonna be Dabo making a stupid face and To win the game, you cannot lose.
No, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna turn it into one of those soundboards that you're going to hear. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to USC. They beat Nebraska. They're now 6-2. They're bowl eligible. Shout out to the Trojans.
Shout out
Nebraska
to Little
was
Mahomes.
Another close game.
And
really, that's the worst part.
Like we give him shit, but you never want to see that happen, man. To anybody. The dude's got another good season in him, for God's sake. You never want to see that happen.
Yeah, tough break for Nebraska. At least they made it to a bowl game before everything sort of fell apart. But it's really, really tough break at losing Dylan Mahomes for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Fighting Illini of Illinois. They're now bowl eligible after beating Rutgers. You can hear the bells are ringing for the job of Greg Schiano. I feel like that time is coming soon. They're now 1-5 in the Big Ten, getting really, really rough for
He's going to have the distinguished honor of being fired from the same job twice here pretty soon, I fear.
Oh boy. Who knows? West Virginia getting ready to do the same thing too. Not really, but
they just brought it. What the Rich Rod just got there? What the hell are you talking about? It's one season. This is his first season. Give him a. They're going to let him.
Mike Shula got to South Carolina a couple of months ago, and he's already gone.
Yeah, but it's the SEC. Come on now. The standards are much higher.
Hey, listen. To win the football games, you can't lose.
Okay, motherfucker. You're going to beat that to death, aren't you?
Yeah, dude, I beat everything else to death. What do you want? I beat every other joke I've said to death. What do you want? What else do you want me to say?
Pause. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, but bad choice of words there. All right, anyway, shout out to this one hurts my soul. This one hurts my soul right here. Shout out to Mississippi State only because poor Arkansas, man. They're now 0-5 in the SEC. I thought they had him at home there, but State somehow, some way finds a way to recuperate and go down the field and get the game-winning score with minimal time left, and Arkansas loses yet another close game. I mean, it was overdue for State to finally win one, though.
Yeah. Jiffy, don't worry. Squid does not beat cats to death. It's okay.
No,
he doesn't beat that to death.
No, it was a lapse in words because, as you all know, I have a way with word. Oh, by the way, we have a conference champion this week, Red. Did you know that? We have a conference champion. Yeah, shout out to the 2-7 Beavers for officially winning the Pac-12.
Wait, pause. Did you forget something, Squid? There's a game 2 of the Pac-12 championship. They play again at the end of the season. Final week of the season, they play in Pullman, Washington.
That is true.
I'm not kidding. Washington State and Oregon State. They play each other again. But right now, you're absolutely right.
Of course, it's on the CW. Of course, it's on the CW.
The Sickos Bowl of the week for my channel, and I actually watched this live on stream. Oh, my God. You want to talk about a toilet bowl. It was everything you could hope for a Sickos Bowl and more. There was no offense. The quarterback for Oregon State threw for 36 yards total on passing. Eckhouse, the quarterback for Wazoo, threw for 100 yards and 2 interceptions. And it was a final score of 10-7. Oh, man. I was happier than a pig in shit on Saturday night, let me tell you. Fuck you, ESPN.
I bet you were.
We got that on CBS.
I bet you were. It was a great day for you from how it sounds. Oh no.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any beer.
What is this? So yeah, what has this become? I ask myself. I don't know either.
This is
it's chaos, all right. Well, that's about the week. There isn't really much else to go over. Nothing of importance. We just got to go ahead and go into week 11 and do some talking there because there's some big games coming up. It's so crazy that we're already to week 11, huh?
Yep.
Week daggum 11.
And the first college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow night.
That's exactly right. You think they'll give the Buckeyes the edge there, or do you think they'll?
I don't know.
Over?
Honestly, I don't know if they're going to give Ohio State the number 1 overall because Indiana has been whipping so much ass lately. It might sway the playoff committee to give them the number 1 ranking. I'm not kidding. They actually have some solid wins. Ohio State hasn't played anybody.
Could be.
Penn State was our best game that we were going to have, and that's genuinely and now it's not. Illinois so far has been Illinois and Washington were the 2 games that so far this season have been like great wins for Ohio State. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to sway the committee to give Ohio State the number 1 when Illinois got dumpstered by Indiana and Oregon got served by Indiana. And I'd argue those 2 wins are bigger combined compared to Illinois and Washington for Ohio State. That's Jesus. The defense is the only thing really keeping us as number 1 in the nation right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. Well, I guess we should just go ahead and get into this week's slate of games. And we're better to start with the game of the week, a top 10 Big 12 matchup. And that I'm never going to say that ever again, but a top 10 Big 12 matchup. November 8th at I almost said midnight. It would have been better off at midnight, but no, it's because it's at noon on ABC.
Noon.
Yeah. BYU and Texas Tech, both have 8 wins, 1 combined loss between the 2 of them. 8-0 BYU is undefeated going on the road into Lubbock against the Red Raiders. I think whichever team wins this ball game is going to be your new favorite for the Big 12 conference. So obviously there is some big implications right here. Red, you take it away because I don't know. I have no clue. Texas Tech is a 10.5 point favorite, by the way. I mean, they are a big favorite in this one.
Give me BYU. Okay. I'm not going to bullshit you. I think Bear Bachmeier has been an unstoppable force. He really has hit his stride this season. The game against Utah, the way he was able to come out, take that punishment from the Utes, and then give it to them back and then some. Man, I really am loving what BYU is putting out there. Texas Tech, they kind of got embarrassed by Arizona State a couple of weeks ago. Kind of gave away a little bit of how they made the sauce, if you could say that. They're a really good team. It would not surprise me if these 2 met each other again in Arlington for the Big 12 title. Could be game 1 of 2 between them, but I'm going to go with BYU. Everything just screams to me right now that Bear Bachmeier, he's not going to get shut down by the Red Raiders. They might be at home. The Raiders might be at home, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially since they can't throw tortillas.
That is true. That's a good point. Well, I'll tell you this much. Texas Tech is in an awkward situation because, yes, I do feel they are the more talented team in this matchup, and I think because of that, they're going to give BYU everything they want to and more. But Will Hammond I think he's still out. I think he's out.
I was going to mention that's the only thing that's really holding me up as well as Will Hammond being hurt. If he's not playing,
well, it's I don't know because I think Beram Morton. I think he's a decent quarterback, but he's not the playmaker that Hammond was. So it's very, very tough for me to say, but I am still going to stick with my gut here and say that the Red Raiders get it done at home. However, I think it's going to be a 1-score game. I think BYU is going to cover that spread. Not that it necessarily matters, but because we're not degenerate gamblers, but for those of you that are, that's what we think.
Let's go gambling.
Yeah, let's go gambling. Oh, dang it.
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it.
So we're just going to get through the since we're already short on time here, we're going to get through the best games of the week, and then whatever you guys want us to cover afterwards, you send us a super chat and we'll do just that. Super chat. All right, well here's your premiere game at 3:30 also on ABC. Another undefeated going on the road. Number 3 Texas A&M. The pressure stacks on them even more. They're 1 win and 1 win away from breaking the curse at long last. They're 1 win away from it, and that win comes against number 19 Missouri on the road. A&M is coming in as a 6.5 point favorite. And to me, look, I think it happens. I think the streak breaks. I think A&M is going to get the job done on the road. And I think a lot of that is because Missouri's offense is going to be in a very, very rough position and not due to anything they've caused on their own. Unfortunately, the injury bug has a new victim, and that's Missouri. Bo Pribula, I think, out for the year with a leg injury. So now they're down to their third string quarterback. And while they do have the road edge, I don't think it's going to matter enough. I think A&M is going to go on the road and take care of business.
Yeah, give me A&M. No Bo means no go for the Mizzou Tigers. Sorry, guys. Well, nice run this year, but without Bo, you're fucked. Hopefully he'll be back and healthy again for y'all next year if he stays.
Mm-hmm. I would certainly hope so. Now, they did have a little bit of a stride there against Vandy even after Pribula went down, but
I mean, Bo was the heart and soul of that fucking offense, and if you don't have him, I mean, I don't know how you beat A&M.
Yeah, maybe you're right about that. Who knows? All right, the Big Ten matchup. This is a big one too. Oregon, number 6 Oregon. Now, I want you to keep watching this one, because the Duckies are going on the road to play unranked Iowa. And I think they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder because they're 6-2, 4-1 in the Big Ten. And I think, to me, this is a sign of the end times. You've got people on Twitter talking about, why is Iowa not ranked, but Tennessee is? That's how you know the end times are coming. Because people are actually trying to give Iowa the benefit of the doubt for a ranking.
Because Iowa doesn't have a fucking offense. Duh.
Yeah, they do. You see them against Minnesota? They've got an offense now.
Mark
Gronowski is good. Mark Gronowski is okay. He's not way better than every other Iowa quarterback I've seen under Kirk Ferentz. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, yeah, they're 5.5
on the season.
No, again, Red. We're not comparing him against the average quarterback. We're comparing him against Iowa's other quarterbacks.
Even compared to other Iowa quarterbacks, it's like going from a fucking Ford Pinto to a Ford Cruise thing. Like, you're barely upgraded at all.
Bless me. All right. But yes.
Anyway,
Iowa. Yeah. The Hawk Tuas are a 5.5-point dog at home. So what do you got here, since you're the Big Ten expert?
Oregon's going to murder Iowa. I genuinely don't know why people are thinking this is going to be a fucking game. Oregon's going to beat the fuck out of Iowa. I genuinely don't understand it. Okay, Iowa's got a good defense. Fine. Okay. They've always had a good defense. It didn't save them against Indiana, and Indiana beat Oregon. So I could give a shit less about the Hawkeyes. Give me the Ducks. Iowa gets to go to a bowl game and score 3 points in fucking Tennessee or something. I don't care. It's going to be the Ducks.
Ooh, Iowa. Give us Iowa in the Citrus Bowl again, please, even though we're not going there.
Well, we just need to have that fucking pain.
We're going to the Little Debbie Cream Pie Bowl or whatever it is. I don't care. I don't care. Just get me out of the regular season already. That's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ooh, you know what? Let's do. There's some good options. Good options for some doo-doo bowls, I'll tell you that much. But I guess we'll do this one real quick. I think we all know what's going to happen, so we'll wrap it up pretty quick and fast. But Alabama hosting LSU at home. They're 9.5-point favorites against the Tigers. That might be a little bit low in my mind. Do you think LSU's got any shot?
Fuck no. God, no. Right. Why are we giving them 9.5? It's going to be it's going to be a 4-touchdown slaughter on LSU. God damn.
You're again talking about the same things.
Yeah, Brian Kelly. If Brian Kelly was there, they would lose by 2 touchdowns. They're fucking fucked. They've been when the governor of Louisiana got involved, you had 2 touchdowns on top of it. It's over.
Yeah, two more touchdowns on top of it. My goodness. What What a flat out mess. What a flat out mess. Yeah. When you look at this week, I mean, there's not many big games. There's a lot of ranked teams playing, but this is sort of a quiet week, all things considered, or at least it looks like that on paper, which is exactly how you know it's not going to be.
It's the calm before the storm. The next 2 weeks, we're going to have SEC teams after this week playing FCS squads or taking their bye weeks before they ramp up for the final games of the season. And this is always where, everything gets a little bit quiet. People might actually take a break and take the week off because there's no games on. And then that's when stupid shit happens. That's when stupid hits its peak. So I'm not saying that LSU is going to beat Bama or some of that shit. Like I'm not insane, but like there's going to be a couple of games this week that we're going to be like, huh, really? They lost? Okay. Fuck.
All right. Well, if anybody wants us to cover any more games, just drop a super chat and we'll do so. But this is probably
Ohio State off this week.
How do you not know it's your own team? Okay.
Oh yeah, no. You know why I forgot? They're playing nobody, and by nobody I mean Purdue.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. It's here. Let's waste no time. I think you already know what's going to happen here. Just tell me whether or not you're going to cover that. 29.5 point favorites on the road.
My God, who the hell is the 2.9% thinking Purdue has a shot here?
Some very, very. It's people who remember 2018. That's who.
You poor souls. Good Lord. Ohio State, they're going to put up 30 on Purdue easily. I don't think it's not even a question there. I don't care if they're going to Ross 8 or not.
No.
Yeah, but I'm going to be more curious to see if we can keep Purdue to single digits on defense again this week. I think that's the real thing you should be looking at. Don't look at the points that the offense scores. Look at how many points the defense allows. And then that'll be the determinant of how well we play.
Now, do keep in mind, by the way, this team did give Michigan a lot of trouble in the Big House. Michigan only won by 1 score.
Yeah, and Michigan's also a fucking garbage bag of a fucking program this year, so they can kiss my fucking ass.
Write that down. Write that down.
They are. Michigan is the literal piss of the Big Ten. They have the same color as it. They play in a bowl of a stadium that is filled with it every Saturday when you see all them fucking yellow handkerchiefs waving in the air like, ooh, go Michigan, woo! Spare me.
Well, on that note, you probably should have saved all those adjectives for what I'm about to put up on the screen here because I wanted to cover this one for Gits and Shiggles before we call it wraps. What is this? And this is happening. By the way, this is doomsday. This is doomsday of a football game, and it's happening at 7:00 tomorrow. It's a Tuesday night ball game that we're witnessing here.
Yeah, I really am bummed out that I'm not able to go to this game now. But because I really wanted to go see this tire fire in person. My God, it is literally. If you are a sicko and a true sicko, it is Akron and UMass, 2 of the worst teams in the MAC, going at it on a Tuesday night on CBS Sports Network. You cannot tell me that this is not peak. Now, I'll give the Zips some credit. Despite being completely ineligible for a bowl game this year, they're putting up a good fight. They actually got 3 wins on the season. So, hey, good for Akron. It wasn't going to be a complete I was hoping it was going to be 0-8 versus 0-8 when we got to this point, but no, sir. That's it. Give me the Zips. Go Zips. They're going to wipe the floor with the Minutemen because UMass is not winning this fuck. UMass had a chance to beat Buffalo, who somehow is second in the MAC right now after nearly having a stroke. And they're like, if there was a level before the trash juice, that's where UMass is at. They're below trash juice.
Dang, that's bad. They're below trash juice. But yeah, anyway, I'm right there with you. I think Akron's going to win. Only because the UMass arc of garbage must must continue on. They must become the ultimate toilet squad. That's at least what I think. And besides, it's in their name. You can't spell UMass without you. Yeah, you get the idea.
You can't spell UMass without education and physics.
Crazy if that's true.
Ass.
True if big even. All right. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up here tonight on the FBS Report.
True if big ass? What?
What?
You're saying true. I said, yeah, ass. And you're like, true if big even. I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, true if big if true. You know this. Come on.
I said ass. You said true if big. Is it big? Is that ass big?
You present, but you ain't really there.
Anyway,
I'm
that's
just trying to make you an ass right now.
You're doing a great job. This is going to wrap up the FBS Report for tonight, everyone. Unless if Red, you have anything else you'd like to go over before we call it.
I am in the weeds right now trying to make my video this week while also trying to make a separate video about LSU. So my next video might not be out until late Wednesday, potentially early Thursday. I don't fucking know at this point. It's a tire fire. I still got to do voiceover when we get done here, but we'll see what happens. I'll be streaming this weekend, though, on Saturday.
Unrelated, but I'm totally, you guys wouldn't believe it, but I am caked up. That is the truth. Come find out this Saturday over on the Squidtard live show. We'll be live probably for the
YouTube might not like that.
Yeah, no, that was metaphorical. I'm not actually going to show.
Squid just walks
unless join the Patreon. It doesn't exist. Don't go looking for it.
Yeah,
right,
he'll
guys.
just walk. That'll be the live stream for Patreon. All right, guys, this is what you pay for, and it's just Squid in a fucking Speedo doing like a fucking badass.
Yeah, I'll wear those pants that dadgum kicker for Oklahoma wear.
Oh my god!
Let me run out those pants real fast. He's the new freaking Cam Little, I guess, because of it. So might as well.
Oh gee.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm good.
Maybe I should make a bet that if we lose to Florida, I have to show up in the next FBS Report with those pants on.
You know what? I'm in. We'll do that bet.
No, we're not going to shake on it yet, but we got 3 weeks until then. I'll think about it.
Okay.
Because I actually got to find the pants first.
Well, you know what? We'll find some sort of punishment. We will find some sort of punishment for you, bro.
Yeah, trust me. Nobody needs to see that, man.
It'll be the most viewed episode of the FBS Report of all time, and everybody makes
me so mad because that dude who wore those pants absolutely shredded us, man. He had like 350-yard kicks, and then you had our field goal kicker who looked like a 12-year-old with his first time in a strip club. Like that dude was just completely terrified.
Okay, we need to go because now you're saying dumb shit about 12-year-olds at strip clubs, and we need to get the fuck off the.
You're looking into it too much. The point being that he was super duper scared to kick field goals. I mean, I said it last week. I said it during the stream. I mean, dadgum Mia Zhu, the YouTuber that I do collabs with, literally she could have done a better job kicking field goals that night. That was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Stevie Wonder could have kicked a field goal better than that.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Okay, well, anything else you'd like to say before we call it wraps here on the show?
Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you change the oil in your vehicle once every 3 months or when you hit the 3,000-mile limit if your vehicle is almost to 100,000 miles. Good car maintenance saves you from bills.
I got to do that tomorrow. You're absolutely right about that. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Y'all are phenomenal people. Thank you for everything you do for both of our channels. Make sure if you haven't already, sub up to that individual right there, Mr. Red, and vice versa. If you're over there on Red Stream, I would greatly appreciate you sub up to Squidtard Sports, but that's only if you choose to. I mean, it's not a requirement.
Subscribe or die. I'm just kidding.
Maybe, but most importantly, always remember.
But just, to win, you got to not lose. I mean, it's just simple as that.
Always remember, to win, you got to not lose. That's all there is to it.
To win,
So if if you're ever in
lose.
a situation to where you find your crush in the hallway during school or at a university and you're too afraid to talk to her, just remember the words of Dabo Sweeney. To win, you got to not lose.
Yeah,
All right, with all that being said, we're going to call it here, Red. Thank you all for being on here tonight. Y'all are wonderful people. And as always, power to Tart area. And see you next time.
Fuck off, Michigan.